Good evening, New Brunswick, and a very Merry Christmas to you on this holiday, December 25th, 2016. My name is Charlie Cradville. I'll be your host for the next half hour. We're going to be giving you the update on what you need to know about our city and giving you the holiday season's wishes here as we update you on this fascinating week that's played out in the hub city. So thanks so much for joining me. We are here with you today at New Brunswick Today Studios here in downtown New Brunswick. I have had the chance to celebrate a great holiday with my family and friends, and I am so thankful and grateful to have done that before getting to address our audience here in New Brunswick. And before I get going, there is one very, very important message I need to give you. The reason we're doing this special show is right here. This is a search warrant from the New Brunswick Police Department to search these offices in terms of some evidence they were seeking about some corruption that we were uncovering here at the New Brunswick Today newspaper. We are a community newspaper. You've probably seen us around. We're the best newspaper in New Brunswick, and we do the stories that no one else wants you to see. So this is our English side of our most recent issue. This is the Spanish side of our most recent issue. We're proud to be the only bilingual independent community newspaper here in the hub city. And it was pretty shocking this week when we got a search warrant for our premises, especially since that search warrant was related to the work we're doing to try to uncover corruption in the hub city. So we are doing this special broadcast tonight, just like we did a special broadcast earlier this week, to keep you in the loop about what's going on and what's really important here. Before I get to the meat of this update, and we will play you that very interesting video of our interaction with the police when they came here at the end of the show. Before we get there, off the top, I want to say one thing, and this is the most important thing. So if you only listen to one thing, listen closely and carefully. At New Brunswick Today, we always protect our sources. So the source who gave me this water meter has nothing to worry about. We do not divulge where we get confidential information, where we get confidential documents, or where we get confidential hunks of metal that people give us. The same is true across the board. We protect our sources. You have nothing to worry about. My phone number and email address is at the bottom of every article I write. If you have something you want to share with us, you can contact me. And if you say that you want your name left out of it, if you don't want your name associated with what you have to say to me about that, that is fine. We will protect you. We always have protected our sources for the past 5 years, and we always will protect our sources over the next, hopefully, 5 or more years that we're doing this paper. So thank you for reading. Thank you for being a part of it. Please understand that if you have something that you think we need to know, if you think you know about something that belongs in the newspaper or something that is worthy of investigating, you can tell us in confidence, and we won't give up your spot. We will not reveal your identity to anyone. I will go to jail to protect my sources, and this case is no exception. If you're not sure about that, I'll say it again. I will go to jail to protect my sources. This is an important message. I want everyone to know it. You have nothing to fear. If you confide in New Brunswick Today, we will protect that confidentiality. We have your back as a community. New Brunswick Today can be trusted, and there is no reason to doubt us. We have always protected our sources, and we will continue to protect our sources. So thank you for what you do as a community. If you have anything you want to share with us, you can trust us. We hope that you will open up to us if you have something, especially about the water utility. But before we move on, I want to just give everyone a little reminder. One thing you can do to help us right now is very simple. You can go online. You're already online, of course. You're watching this, but you can just go and share this broadcast, share this live broadcast with your friends and relatives. I'm actually doing that right now with my personal friends here. So we're going to go and just pull up this live broadcast and just hit the share button. Please just do this so that your other friends and relatives who might have some desire to connect with us or some reason to want to be interested in this broadcast. We've been uncovering corruption at the water utility, and now we seem to have the police department breathing down our necks. So right now I'm sharing this broadcast with everybody in my Facebook network so that they have it, and I hope they'll join us, and I hope you'll do the same. Now, before I move on, I want to give you a little update about this search warrant. We have been doing some research. We have been actually pursuing some of the things it says here. So first of all, in case you're not up to speed, the police did come here on Tuesday, December 20th. They did take basically a corroded old water meter that we had that we were planning to get tested to see if it was in any way tampered with or fraudulent or in any way some kind of funny business going on. That's what we had been told. We wanted to verify that. We never got the chance because the New Brunswick police obtained a search warrant from Judge Colleen Flynn, and that search warrant had some interesting information in it, but also a lot of things that were left unsaid. So one of those things very clearly doesn't mention the word water meter anywhere on this. You can look through the whole thing. The word water meter does not appear on it. So it doesn't say what they're going to take, but it does say that Detective Theory Lemmerling is, quote, hereby ordered in the event that you seize any aforedescribed contraband to give a receipt for the property so seized to the person for whom it was taken or in whose possession it was found. And we have not gotten a receipt for anything. A water meter was taken. It was definitely here. We got the whole thing on video, and that's a video we'll be showing you later in the program. So please, again, share this broadcast so others can see this. But we never got a receipt. We raised that concern. I went to the Middlesex County Courthouse right behind me and tried to obtain not just the receipt, but the affidavit that is referenced in this warrant. It mentions several times an affidavit, probably by Detective Theory Lemmerling, and you would think we would be able to get a copy of that to figure out how the heck they got probable cause to invade our newsroom and search it to obtain this information that we have, or these records that we have, but we still don't have a receipt. We still don't have an affidavit, and to me, the fact that we don't have a receipt means that the order has been violated. This is very clear. The judge said, you are hereby ordered to give a receipt. So no receipt has been given. We still don't have a receipt. It appears that the officers involved in this case violated Judge Colleen Flynn's order. Now, that said, I want to share with everyone a positive holiday message. And this is really important. I heard this on the radio, and I think we need to approach things in a very positive way here, because we have nothing but the best of intentions at this newspaper. We are really trying our best to make New Brunswick a great place where people will want to live, where people will get a fair shake, where people don't have to worry about corruption or their rights being violated. And so this is very important to us. And what I heard a DJ on the radio say the other day was that folks should be good to others, even if they're not being good to you. And I think that's a very instructive lesson. The reason is because it's good to be good. And so we're going to be very good. And we want to start our rest of our broadcast today by actually thanking Detective Theory Lemmerling and Detective Brandon Epstein and the New Brunswick Police Department for shining a much bigger spotlight on this whole water utility issue than had ever been shined in the past year. So thank you, a sincere thank you to the two detectives who paid us a visit. I sincerely hope that you will investigate the real crime that has been perpetrated. I hope that you will invest the pervasive corruption at the New Brunswick water utility. And I hope that the leaders of the New Brunswick water utility will welcome that investigation, because no one wants to be a part of a corrupt organization except a corrupt person. So I hope that the police investigating this, that the water utility that is dealing with this whole fiasco, I hope that everybody has the best of intentions like we do, and I wish you well. I hope that you all had a very happy day. I hope you got to spend some time with some people you love, and I hope that your experience this week has taught you something, and I hope that ultimately we can move towards having a better city where we all work together. So thank you, and that is sincere, a sincere thank you to the detectives who came into this office and seized the water meter that we had obtained from a confidential source. We're going to get into that just a bit later. Those are our first thank yous, and I sincerely mean them. I wish all those folks well, and I do respect the work that the folks in City Hall and the folks in the police do. I hope that we can be partners in making our city a better place, making our city a place where we have open and clean government, where people can get their questions answered, where folks' rights are not violated, where folks are charged a fair price for fair services, and where there's no funny business, kickbacks, bribes, or corruption, because we're better than that. New Brunswick doesn't deserve that. We deserve better than that, and I hope that in 2017 we can achieve that. So thank you, deep thank you to Detectives Lemmerling and Epstein for pursuing this investigation. Thank you also to all the journalists who shined a light on what those detectives did, and all those organizations that came to our defense and raised concerns about the prospect of the New Brunswick police barging into a newsroom and seizing materials. This is not something that should be happening in a free society, and we actually have some laws on the books that are meant to prevent that, but we'll get to those a little later. For now, thank you to every journalist who has covered this, who has tweeted about this, who has shared this with their audience or encouraged others to write about it or do a story about it. So that includes Jack Murtha at tapinto.com. I hope you had a great holiday. I hope you had a very happy day with your loved ones. The Home News Tribune, thank you to you. We have Mike Deek and also my good friend Nikita writing about that. NJ.com, Craig McCarthy, thank you for writing about that. I want to thank the other folks. Matt Friedman, one of the best political reporters in New Jersey, wrote a great story on Politico about that. We also have a really big national news outlet, BuzzFeed News. Tasneem Nasrullah from BuzzFeed News wrote another excellent story about this and really helped crack this story wide open and share it with a much bigger national audience. So thank you to everybody who was involved in that, and I know there's some names I'm leaving out. Thank you, of course, to my friends, family, our readers, our supporters, our subscribers, the people who keep us going, our team of phenomenal writers who have been so encouraging throughout this situation. So thank you to everybody who has given us the courage and strength to continue, and thank you to all of you for watching and reading and liking and sharing our content and continuing to do that as this story evolves. We're going to give you a little bit of information about what we know. So today on the New Brunswick Today website, you can see that we actually did do quite a big story on this. We've been very deeply invested in this story. Needless to say, we've done a lot of work, and we came out with a story you can find right now on the NewBrunswickToday.com website. That's again NewBrunswickToday.com. You can see it right at the bottom of the screen there. Go there, check out this story while you're listening to this or whatever. Check it out. It's a very interesting story, and we'll give you the full rundown in a bit. So here's what's going on. We've got two cops came to our office, took the water meter. They had a search warrant. The warrant was approved by Judge Colleen Flynn, whose mother just happens to be the county clerk, Elaine Flynn, a five-term Democrat politician here in Middlesex County. And, like I said, we tried to obtain that affidavit that's mentioned here multiple times. It keeps referring to an affidavit that somehow justifies this action. We tried to obtain that affidavit, but Judge Flynn's staff told us they weren't going to provide that. They directed us to go to the prosecutor's office to get that. We have asked the prosecutor's office, and we've alerted the prosecutor's office that the two police officers involved did not provide a receipt as required. So Still waiting for that affidavit, still waiting for that receipt. The MCPO, the prosecutor's office, knows about this. They've been alerted to it. We have not heard from them. That's been more than 2 days now. It's now been 5 days since the property was seized, and in violation of this order, we still don't have a receipt. So that much is clear. The order has been violated by the New Brunswick police officers, and we would like to see that rectified. But additionally, there's a lot more in this story. Please check it out. It goes into all the corruption at the water utility, all the backlash and coverage, and how the city has been lashing out at us, and also how the community has been backing us up. And you actually will read at the very end that about a dozen people came to the city council meeting. You might remember we did a broadcast on Wednesday. We encouraged folks to come out to that council meeting, and boy, they did. We had more than a dozen people come out, and we had a great set of remarks from several people, some of whom were writers for New Brunswick Today, but others who were not, who came out to stick up for us. And you can read those quotes all in that article right now on the New Brunswick Today website. Now, what do we know? Okay, so we know that the New Brunswick Water Utility has at least one person who's admitted to corruption. His name is Edward O'Rourke. You can read about him in the article. Edward O'Rourke just got out of jail after just 9 months in the slammer for basically lying about the water being safe. He said the water was safe when it wasn't, and people were drinking it when they probably should have been boiling it first. So about as serious of a violation as you can have when it comes to water. Dangerous water being distributed to the public. The people in charge responsible for letting the public know, don't drink that, boil it first. They didn't do it. He didn't do it. He went to jail. He just got out. He's on parole, Edward O'Rourke. So we know about that. But now there's a new scandal that seems to be unfolding into a different part of the water utility. This part of the water utility is called the Billing and Meter Reading Division. That part of the utility is a controversial part of the utility. A lot of people think that their water bills are way too high. A lot of people have long suspected that there's been some types of scams or schemes that result in their water bills being way too high, while maybe some other people aren't paying. So we did look into one of the people that was criminally charged this month. This is a new case. Now, unrelated to Ed O'Rourke, but the same department, the same utility. Apparently, the corruption goes beyond just lying about the quality of the water. There's also funny business going on with the billing and the amounts that people are being asked to pay or forced to pay. So one person was charged, Joseph DeBonis. We revealed that he'd been previously charged with promoting gambling on Staten Island, and that his brother is a New Brunswick police detective who has made multiple donations to the political campaigns of 7-term Mayor James Cahill. He has been in power since 1991. We also revealed on an episode of our show, the New Brunswick Today show, that William Billy Ortiz was also charged in this scandal. He's been charged with bribery and official misconduct. He allegedly took a $2,000 bribe. But we also learned that that, according to some people, wasn't the only scam he was running there. And we actually were told that there was a scam involving city water meters that would not work properly, that folks would be able to get free or cheap water from folks that were maybe friends or family or political allies of this political machine that has run New Brunswick for so many years. Now, when we aired that show, it was a pretty explosive show. One of the people who watched it was Water Director Mark Lavenberg. He admitted to BuzzFeed News that he was the one who actually reported the water meter stolen after watching our show. And the story exploded after we put it out there. We had not just BuzzFeed and Politico, but we had local outlets really digging deep in the story. I mean, Tap Into did 3 articles about it. The Home News did 2 articles. Patch.com did 2 articles. So kudos to our colleagues in this community who really did stand up and let people know what was going on when New Brunswick Today was in a tight spot and we weren't really in a position to do that. So now you can read our full article. Go to newbrunswicktoday.com. Check that out. But we've got a lot to update you on. So before we get to our response to the city's misleading press statement they put out, we do want to share with you some information about these 2 officers. So right now I'm actually going to play for you. This is the video of these two officers. This is me answering the door here at New Brunswick Today's headquarters on Patterson Street. And you can see these are two gentlemen. The guy on the left is Thierry Lemmerling, and Mr. Lemmerling has actually, in the past, multiple times been made a name for himself by investigating some city corruption cases. He was actually the one who was in charge of that case, you might remember from earlier this year, where 4 New Brunswick Parking Authority employees were charged with crimes, the valets there. And that's Lemmerling that's talking right now in this video. You can see him with the search warrant in his hand. He also busted 2 firefighters for defrauding the disability system around the same time. So he's been involved in some high-profile cases. He's also arrested me twice, including one time where the charges were totally dismissed back in 2014. That arrest was one that was reported on, and you can read about in our article. And again, that man, Thierry Lemmerling, came to our office this Tuesday. So it's great to see him again, an old friend, Thierry Lemmerling. But to his right is a man named Brandon Epstein. Brandon Epstein, the gentleman there with the less hair than Thierry Lemmerling, shaved head, looks like Brandon Epstein. He's a person who I do have some respect for. I heard him testify during pretrial motions at a murder trial across the street. He's the resident technology person, computer geek, for lack of a better word, at the New Brunswick Police. He's the person they go to when they have a computer disk or a hard drive or a video or a cell phone or something from a surveillance camera that they want him to capture and preserve as evidence. He is often involved in these types of cases where there's some sort of data recovery going on. So I heard him testify, and I gained some respect for him. I was surprised to see him come to our office because typically, we wouldn't expect to see the New Brunswick Police trying to take our data or our hard drives or anything like that. So needless to say, we had a very pleasant conversation that you'll be able to watch at the end of the show. And yeah, this was how it went. This is the beginning here. But now we'll go back to me here. And yeah, this took 13 minutes. They left only taking a water meter. And so we know who these people are. They're a couple of detectives. They've been on the force for some time. They both have certain specialties that they do. And, again, we respect their work, and I hope they're having a very happy holiday today. We wish them the best. And, again, thank you for helping shine such a big light on this story. This is a very serious thing. New Brunswick Today often struggles to get our stories in the mainstream media, often struggles to get attention on some of the most important things going on here, like problems with the water or problems at the water utility, corruption in City Hall. And these gentlemen did us a big favor by coming to our office and executing the search warrant. We, of course, videotaped the entire thing and shared that video with the media. So thank you to everyone who helped share that video even further and get that out there. Again, thanks to everybody involved. There were a few problems with their warrant, of course. The first being that they didn't obey the section that says they have to give us a receipt. But beyond that, it also appears that this warrant is in violation of a federal law, and that's what I'm going to tell you about now. We learned about this from some advocates who told us that there's a federal law passed called the Privacy Protection Act. The Privacy Protection Act is meant to protect places just like this, newsrooms, from inappropriate searches and seizures. And the way it works is very simple. It says that you need to get a subpoena to do that type of thing. If the police were required to get a subpoena to do that type of thing, well, then we would have had a chance to fight it. We would have had a chance to, go back and forth in a courtroom rather than just having these two armed police show up at our office with a piece of paper saying we can do, we can take from you these things and we're allowed to search for them to get them. There's a reason that that's not allowed. There's a reason that newsrooms are supposed to be able to protect people's privacy, because we have sources that we need to protect. We have sources that we've promised to protect. And as I promised at the beginning of the show, we will continue that promise. We will not let you down. We always protect our sources, and we are going to make sure that that will not be negatively affected by any efforts of the local police. So that law is on the books. It appears that law was violated. It appears that this search warrant, again, this one right here, is a violation of the Privacy Protection Act of 1980, passed by Congress, signed by the President, and that law has now apparently been violated by the New Brunswick police. So that's the latest update. We're still trying to get the affidavit. We're still trying to get the receipt. And we are now certain that the law was violated when Judge Colleen Flynn approved this warrant instead of requiring the cops to get a subpoena. So that's what we know now. Here's what we're doing about it. So after I tried to get the affidavit at the courthouse and failed, we did go ahead, following the advice of the staff there for Judge Flynn. We filed Open Public Records Act request, trying to get the affidavit from both the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office as well as the City of New Brunswick. We asked for not just the affidavit, but also that receipt that we were supposed to be given when the property was seized. We also asked for copies of any other warrants or affidavits that they were trying to get for this property. And we also asked for photographs of the water meter because in our 13-minute interaction, Detective Epstein promised that they would provide us with photographs of the water meter. He wasn't exactly clear how that would happen, but we filed an Oprah request for that and still awaiting those photographs. And also we requested recordings of the phone calls that took place between myself and Captain J.T. Miller earlier that day. So those things have been requested. We're trying to get our hands on them. We'd be happy to share them with our audience, but we're waiting on the city to get us those. So we've done that. We have taken some other actions pursuing some ways to fight back against this, and we can clue you in on those in just a little bit. We can't really let you know what's going on just yet, but we do want to let you know that we are working hard to preserve our rights as a newspaper, and most importantly, to continue protecting our sources and protecting our readers. We want you to have the full information, but you know, at this moment, we are working to protect ourselves and protect our sources. So we want to give you that update and promise you that there will be more information forthcoming once we have it. So we're waiting on those Oprah requests. If you're not sure, the Oprah law, the Open Public Records Act, sometimes referred to as Oprah, does require a response within 7 business days. So both of those requests were filed on December 22nd, and we've actually filed another one since then. We asked for records that would show a lot of information about the water meters that are deployed around New Brunswick. We want to get information about you know, what do they do when a water meter is inoperable or damaged? Do they just, you know, give it away to somebody? Does it get handed down? Does it get sold or destroyed or discarded? What do they do? We want to learn about that, but we also want to just learn where these water meters are and be able to get a beginning of our investigation into the almost 8,000 water meters that exist in New Brunswick. So that Oprah request was filed on December 23rd, and hopefully within a little bit we'll have an answer for you. But now it's time to take a look at the press release published by the City of New Brunswick, and this is a basically, here we're going to show you this right here on the screen. You can look at it yourself. This is a press release issued by Jennifer Bradshaw the same day that this story hit the media. It is under the headline, or the letterhead of the Office of the Mayor, and it has a lot of statements in here that I don't think are accurate or fair. Again, we want to be good to everyone, even if they're not good to us. And of course, Jennifer Bradshaw is, you know, a former journalist and an old friend who I wish well, and I hope she had a very happy holiday. That said, we also want to do good by you, our readers. So we don't want you to have misinformation. We want you to get the real story. And here is, starting with the first sentence, our response to this media release. So you can see the very first sentence classifies the water meter as being stolen. It says the incident involves a water meter stolen from the city of New Brunswick's water utility. That I'm not totally convinced of. There are a number of logical, reasonable explanations for someone to come into possession of a water meter that don't involve the meter being stolen. The city has notably not disclosed where it was stolen from, when it was stolen, time, date, range of times or dates, nothing to that effect. It appears that they didn't even really know that they were missing such a meter until such time as they saw it appear on the New Brunswick Today show, which again, you'll see the New Brunswick Today show. I was seated right here in this seat where you can find our phenomenal newspaper, and the water meter was sitting right here. Once they saw that show, then they took action. But, unfortunately, they didn't seem to really even know that they were missing a water meter at all. So the characterization that the water meter is stolen is still kind of questionable. But take a look at this next sentence. Mr. Cradaville, after publicly acknowledging that the water meter is the property of the New Brunswick water utility and may be relevant to an ongoing investigation, refused repeated requests from the New Brunswick police to hand over the water meter. Many things wrong with that sentence. First of all, I did not publicly acknowledge the water meter is the property of the New Brunswick water utility. I referred to the water meter as a City of New Brunswick water meter. That doesn't mean that it's still owned by the New Brunswick water utility or that it's not gone through some change where it's no longer a water utility piece of property. I did not ever acknowledge or claim that the water meter was the property of New Brunswick water utility. I had the meter in my possession. Nowhere on it does it say property of the New Brunswick water utility or anything like that. Also, they say that I refused repeated requests from the New Brunswick Police Department to hand over the water meter. That also is incorrect. I never refused to hand over the water meter. In fact, I received 2 phone calls from the police. The first phone call, I said, yes, I would be willing to meet with you. Yes, I will speak to my attorneys and see if it's okay for me to bring the water meter to you. And we left it in a way where I was most likely going to bring them the water meter Thursday morning. I didn't promise to bring it to them, but I also never refused. I certainly did not refuse to hand over the water meter. And then during that second call, there was an unreasonable request for me to immediately drop everything I was doing and bring the water meter to Captain J.T. Miller. And I accurately told Captain Miller that I was busy. I was too busy to do it in such a short period of time. I was not able to drop everything. But I never refused to produce the water meter. I never outright refused. So it's misleading at best to say that I refused. Moving on to this next sentence here. It is a criminal offense. Oh boy, wow, they're saying that I'm a criminal here. So, we can probably just skip this because if this sentence is just intended to make me look like a criminal. It does not say anything about the facts of this case, but it just simply states, I guess, what the law says, and it's a little bit crazy that they would so blatantly try to make me look like a criminal, but hey, they got their agenda. I got my agenda. I'm fighting for the people. Here is what's going on now. We've got, accordingly, the city was well within its rights to retrieve the property. That's their opinion. And they say, because of my refusal, it became necessary to obtain a search warrant. I would say it was not necessary. I was totally already on board with having a meeting Thursday. The meeting was set in stone. I'd agreed to the meeting. So it's a little bit strange. And I don't know, Nissing, we're just going to switch off this for a minute. And now I'm just going to continue with this press release. You can find this on my Twitter if you want to see the release. But it says here next that upon being presented with a search warrant, I did turn over the meter without incident. Well, that is correct. There was no incident. I did allow the police to leave with the water meter. And then here's something that I just have to object to. It says, any assertion by Mr. Cradaville of a, quote, raid or search of his premises is baseless. Well, I never used the word raid personally, but others did, and I don't know if their assertions were baseless, but it seems that the city thinks that only my assertions are baseless. I'd like to point out that Brian Thompson, who is a veteran television reporter for NBC New York, did say that this video was hard to watch and that he did call it a raid. And Brian Amaral, a reporter who used to cover New Brunswick, is now moved on to bigger and better things. He also characterized this as a raid. So I would ask respectfully, Ms. Bradshaw and the folks at City Hall, is it only my assertions of a raid that are baseless, or are these other respected journalists making baseless assertions when they use the term? And I am actually going to bring up the definition for you of a raid. The raid definition is here on our site right here on our broadcast. You can see a raid is a sudden attack on an enemy by troops, aircraft, or other armed forces in warfare. Well, not quite sure that that applies here. The officers were armed. You could argue that we're in a war, but I don't quite think that that's the best term, so I didn't use it. I never used it, and it's a little misleading for Ms. Bradshaw to say that any assertion of me calling it a raid is baseless, because I never made any assertion that there was a raid. And I think that that is a twisted effort to try to discredit me. There absolutely was an invasion of our privacy. There absolutely was a violation of our civil rights. There was a violation of the First Amendment rights. Whether there was a raid or not is debatable. I don't want to get into the nomenclature or the little battles about what words happened. You can watch the video for yourself. And again, we're going to show you that video in just a moment as soon as we're finished with this response. But the city says that a private citizen's investigation does not outweigh an investigation by law enforcement, especially when potential evidence related to serious criminal charges may be at stake. And here's the sentence that really does it. Really makes you cringe, actually. I mean, if you're in the situation I'm in, I'm really not thrilled with this here. If Mr. Cradaville's assertion that this meter may very well have been involved in the criminal activity which is the subject of a current investigation, hopefully his tampering with this potential evidence does not compromise the investigation. Well, thank you very much for accusing me of tampering with evidence. That is such a low blow, considering that this is a piece of evidence that I brought to the city's attention with my news gathering work, with our newspaper's show. We brought this to your attention, and now we are being accused of tampering with the evidence that the city did not know existed. So it's really disgusting. It's trying to make me look like a criminal, and I just want to respond wholeheartedly that we did nothing to tamper with the water meter. We took good care of it. We shared it with our audience during an educational news broadcast on December 16th, and we preserved it at every other moment. And it is, was reluctantly handed over to the police in the same condition that we obtained it. So to suggest that our mere possession of it constitutes tampering is really over the top, and the city ought to be ashamed of themselves. Again, no offense, Jennifer, we'll still be friends. I still, I'm not going to hold anything. I don't take this personal. This is a job that I take very serious, and Jennifer Bradshaw right here wanted to put this stuff out into the media and make sure that they had the mayor's side of the story, not Jennifer's side of the story, but she works for the mayor. So I'll give Jennifer a pass on this one, and we'll take this up with the mayor. I hope he had a happy holiday too. I hope we all had a happy holiday, and I hope we get back to work, and I hope we focus on the right things when we get back to work. So Jennifer Bradshaw's press release, that's my response. I don't think it really deserves much more of a response. It was pretty weak, and I think quite a stretch to accuse us of these kinds of crimes. Very irresponsible, and not the type of thing that a open and clean government would be doing. Exactly the type of thing that a corrupt government would be doing, to cover its tracks and, as they say, shoot the messenger, blame the person who woke everyone up and alerted them that there's a real problem here. They're blaming me. They're trying to make me look like a criminal, and it's shameful. It is honestly shameful. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be embarrassed, and I hope that they see the light and realize that they did something wrong and make it right over the next year. So that's my response to City Hall. I'm just going to close by giving you a few things you can do to help us. If you want to support community journalism, there's several ways to help. I went over some of them in my last special broadcast. Tonight, I want to remind you that you can share this video with your friends, family, your networks right here on social media. Please do that if you think this is a good video or people might care about it. Please share the video right now. Just click the button, share it, let other people see it. Share our article, which we actually have right here on the New Brunswick Today website. I'm just going to take a moment to show you here. It is on the front page of the New Brunswick Today website. There's tons of pictures, tons of exciting stuff. You can watch the full video in here. You can scroll through it and see all the crazy things that are going on here, and how it all ties together and how it ties in with the previous police harassment we've dealt with at New Brunswick Today, and also what it means for the First Amendment. We're at a time in our country where the press is under fire, and the press is actually being vilified by certain people in power, and it's a cause for concern. We want to protect the First Amendment. It's our last line of defense against tyranny. It's our last line of defense against corruption in the government. The First Amendment is so critical that is why it is a part of our Constitution. That is why the work that we do is protected by it, and that's also why they passed this law in 1980 to prevent things from happening like what happened this week. So please stick up for us. Share this article. Read this article. If you like it, please share it widely. Contact City Hall. You can contact the mayor's office. You can contact your council people. You can contact the police department, and please let them know if you don't think that the detectives should be spending their time getting search warrants for the New Brunswick Today office. But if you think maybe, just maybe, in New Brunswick they have something better to do, let them know. Let them know that you don't think this is a good use of their time and your money, taxpayer money. Make sure they know that. And lastly, there is a city council meeting this week. We had a great turnout at the Wednesday meeting. It was really very moving and heartfelt to know that so many people came out. I was unable to attend the meeting myself, but about a dozen people came out to support New Brunswick Today, and many of them spoke very eloquently on our behalf and encouraged the city council to oppose any criminal charges against me or anyone else involved in shining a light on the corruption, and told them straight up to focus on the real problem. We've got a serious crime that's going on here. It's not going on in this office. This is not where the crime is happening. We are investigating the crime. We hope that the police are investigating the real crime also, and not just investigating us as retaliation for investigating the crime. That's what it seems like. I got to be honest. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I kind of can get the vibe of what the investigation is trying to do here, and it really does seem like it's an attack on New Brunswick Today. So there are ways you can help. Those are some of the ways. The last way is really simple. Become a member of New Brunswick Today. You see when you go to our website, it's all over the website. It's begging you, practically begging you, become a member of New Brunswick Today. Please do that. Please sign up to make a monthly pledge to our newspaper to keep us going. You'll get this phenomenal newspaper in the mail, so you'll have the only bilingual newspaper in New Jersey mailed to you once a month. All you've got to do is sign up to become a member. It's super easy. You can do it with a credit card right now online. It actually makes a great gift if you know somebody who would like to get this, maybe somebody who cares about New Brunswick and is not in the area It's a great gift. It's still not too late. I know today's Christmas. You got plenty of time for certain people. You want to get them a gift, get them this. Just let us know where you want us to send their issue, and we would be happy to share our work with your friends and family as we continue into 2017. Thank you again so much for all the support you've given us, to our readers, our fans, our supporters, and our team of very talented writers who I must say have been doing a great job putting up with me and our organization as we go through this stressful endeavor. But also, thanks again, seriously, I mean it, thank you to the detectives. Thank you. The truth will set you free. Look into the truth and expose the truth. Join us in our fight against corruption, and you'll probably be a lot happier in 2017. So thanks so much for all you out there who aren't members yet. Become a member, members.newbrunswicktoday.com. Check out that article. Share that article with your friends. Share this video with your friends. And please have a very, very happy rest of the holiday season. We wish you a very good holiday and a very good weekend here at New Brunswick Today. We do it for you. This is the honest to God truth. We started this newspaper to educate the public about what's really going on, and we're just finally starting to get close. We need your help. Please keep us going. We love the encouragement. We love to hear from you. If you have a tip, if you know something that belongs in the paper, give me a call. My number and email is at the bottom of every story I write, and as promised, I will protect you. If you've got something to say and you want to leave your name out of it, and you want to be protected and be a whistleblower or an anonymous source, you got it. That's what we're here for. We are here to provide a community service, and if you know something that you think needs to be investigated, call me today. Again, this is New Brunswick Today, the only independent bilingual community newspaper, wishing you a very happy holiday and a very Merry Christmas. We'll leave you today with this fascinating video of my friends, Detectives Lemmerling and Epstein, visiting the New Brunswick Today office on Tuesday and walking away with a water meter that read 000 and not giving us a receipt. Happy Christmas, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side. Thanks so much.
How are you, sir?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Listen,
how are
can
you?
we talk to you for a second?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk out here.
Well, before you go there, listen. Just got a search warrant signed by the judge.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to come look for this water meter, and I'm going to tell you what we're looking for specifically. It was signed by the judge. Sure. Okay. You'll have to get a copy of this as well. Okay. What we're looking for is the water meter and the MXU unit that was shown in your video that you posted on the 17th.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay. And also we're looking for whatever SD card or whatever that video is stored on. Okay, that is what our search warrant is for.
What video would that be?
Whatever video you used to video your show.
Our broadcast.
Yeah, however you did that, whatever that's stored on, the digital recording, that's what we need.
So with the court-approved search warrant, well, I'll just ask you here first, if you provide either one of those to us so we don't have to do a search of the premises. Obviously, you get a copy of it and it's been signed by the judge.
Sure.
Okay.
Let me, can I just make a call to my attorney?
Sure.
Okay.
And feel free. But we can't let you lock up the office or anything else like that.
Yeah. You can, we'll stay right here,
yeah.
That's fine. You can call your office. You just can't close the doors at this point.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And I don't understand about an SD card. There's no SD card.
Well, however you recorded the video on, whatever that's stored on.
It's not stored. It was broadcast live on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the stolen property first.
Okay. Well, I want to understand about the SD card. Okay. You know, because I want to comply. I want to. You know, I.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, saw you across the street. I respect the work you do.
I wasn't across the street.
At the courthouse. Not today, but previously. I watched your testimony. I respect what you do.
Let's do cross one bridge first. The water meter. Still, it's, as you're aware, it has been declared stolen property.
Right. We
have the search warrant for the water meter and the attached unit with it.
I understand. Is there?
Can you provide that with us, or do we have to search for it?
I mean, if you have a search warrant, I'm going to comply. But
okay.
But I'd like to understand which water meter is it you want. Is there any identifying information about it in this warrant?
Yeah.
Listen, this is a search warrant.
I'll tell you exactly.
I understand you're saying you're not trying to be difficult. Do you have more than one New Brunswick water meter here? That's I mean, I understand you're saying you're not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to be difficult either. The company, hat in hand, asking for the water meter that was broadcast online, that's been reported stolen by the New Brunswick Water Utility.
I don't know if this is hat in hand. I mean, this is a search warrant.
After previous conversation with you asking you to return the stolen property.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to get the stolen property back.
Okay. Are there
with the minimum amount of intrusion to you as possible.
I respect that. I respect
Are you going to
that.
provide it to us?
Yes, I will comply. I want to find out exactly what's in the warrant, though. I think that's reasonable. That I can read through the warrant. I can talk to my attorney about it. Thank you. And so, just want to understand if I'm under investigation or if I'm charged.
You're more than welcome to come down voluntarily. You're not under arrest right now, okay? At this very moment, as we stand here, obviously, no handcuffs, anything else like that. You're not under arrest. We're asking for you to provide us with the water meter.
Okay.
And I do
you're-
need to-
Marty, how are you?
I do need to take a
If you're
statement.
more than willing to come down and give a statement to us voluntarily, that's fine.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't want, this isn't the time for debate or legal questions, stuff like that. I'll let you read it.
Sure.
And you can tell us if you're going to comply and give us the water meter, or we can
Well-
come search.
How about this? You come in and have a seat, and I'll call my attorney.
Sure.
Have this seat. I'll grab another seat for you, sir.
All right.
Here you go. And I'm just going to use this phone here to call the attorney. It's your first time here.
I understand that, you're going to call your attorney and ask him some questions. And
Yeah, not
for
trying
our
to
safety
prolong it.
and
I
just part of the investigation,
You want-
I
yeah.
understand you can't go into a closed room and make a phone call
No,
to your
yeah, I don't
attorney.
need to be
Okay,
behind.
understand that.
I'll leave this door open.
Okay.
I'm just going to call up.
Sure.
What I do with the hair? Hey, Walter. Charlie Cradaville here. How are you? Well, no, but I am here with two New Brunswick detectives. I have a search warrant here that apparently just got approved by Judge Flynn, and they are able to search the premises. Here, hold on just a sec. And hey, Mark, I'm inside here with some detectives. You can, take your time. All right, I gotta go. Hey. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. I absolutely will, and I just want to be clear. It says the officer's request to seize the video camera described in the affidavit is denied and modified to permit the officers to search for and seize a memory card or other medium on which the video described in the affidavit is saved. There is no such memory card. It is not saved. It was broadcast live. So I just want to make you aware of that they were interested in taking my camera and taking some memory card. Exactly, it's on YouTube, so there's really no reason for them to want that except to mess with me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Share the link. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I don't want. Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say, if you're out of that region, you might have to get them out of your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Hide it, but you don't have it.
Right. Okay. Sure. That sounds good. Unless there's anything else, I'm gonna get going because I don't want to keep these gentlemen waiting any longer.
Gentlemen, it's on YouTube. Otherwise, you come.
Okay. Thanks, buddy.
Follow the directions, please.
Okay. You got it.
All right, man.
All right. Very well. All right. Quick question. Can I just photograph the water meter before I hand it over?
We'll provide you photographs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Even
that's-
better. You'll do the
yeah,
photography.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, that.
Do,
you
and I get to
request-
keep
you
a
request
copy of this
to,
search warrant.
Yeah, do you have a
Yeah.
printer here? We'll make a copy of it.
Yeah, I can do that.
By providing you photographs of it, I mean, through the same way you would request photographs of anything. Not to say that we're,
So you're not going to give me the special package with the print, the great
Exactly.
prints, high quality.
I don't know the quality of them.
Okay.
All right, so you have the water meter to
I do.
provide to us? Okay.
I do. So this is my box,
Okay.
but this is the water meter, and you can see. You might want to look into it. It says 00089 on here. The
And this-
point
this is the one
89.
that- Let me ask you, you don't have any other water meters that we should be looking for, do you?
There might be one attached to the building, but
Okay.
that's not mine. Apparently, I learned today they're city property.
Yes, they are. This
Okay.
is
And this one. This is the one.
yes. So, and as for, I know you had an opportunity to speak with your attorney.
I did.
As far as the SD card of the original video, or any medium with the original video that has the original broadcast you have on there.
Gentlemen, it's on YouTube. That is, that's all.
Well, first you said it was recorded to Facebook Live. There was no recorded medium.
It was broadcast live, so streamed live. There's no...
To Facebook?
Correct.
Okay, so
Our Facebook... The broadcast was live.
the broadcast was live to Facebook.
Correct.
Okay, and it wasn't recorded and then uploaded later.
Correct. It was a live broadcast.
Okay.
And-
I just want to be. I don't want to split hairs here because I want to make sure that we fully understand each other. Because when stuff's uploaded to YouTube, it's usually recorded and then uploaded. Your representation is the fact that you recorded it was uploaded live. That there was no actual recording of that.
I see. You're asking about the YouTube video.
Yes.
Right. So the YouTube video is a copy of the Facebook video. It's the same video.
That's not what I asked. When you recorded the video, it was recorded onto some kind of storage medium and then uploaded to Facebook?
No, it was not. No, it was
Sure.
not. Yes, I'm certain.
I want to be absolutely clear because there's overlays and stuff on there that's not natively.
Yeah, no,
get
it
on
was a
Facebook
total
video.
live broadcast, 100% live broadcast. The video that is on YouTube was taken from Facebook. It was not, there's no other,
And the original video for that is where?
the original video
It
for,
was the recorded one from Facebook then, prior to being edited and placed on YouTube.
there was no editing done. It was,
Prior to any overlays where it says New Brunswick Today or anything else like that?
that was on the original broadcast. You can go to our
That was-
Facebook page, New Brunswick, facebook.com/New Brunswick Today. You can watch the,
So the original New
it's
Brunswick Today thing
identical.
was
It's
all,
the-
is all
yeah, we do a pretty professional show here.
I just want to make sure that
Did you guys watch it?
We're speaking the exact same language and understand the facts, so there's no problems down the road.
Of course, yeah, no.
So there's
I
no
know,
original
yeah.
store recording of the video.
Correct. The video was a live broadcast.
Okay, so
Broadcast
there's no,
through Facebook
So you don't have
Live.
any stored media.
Correct. There's no,
Okay. Very good.
Last thing, I am going to want to at some point talk to you about how you came into be in possession of this unit. Are you
yeah.
willing to cooperate
you
with
know-
an investigation of a stolen?
You're in possession of stolen property right now.
well, I can be honest with you that I was willing to meet with you Thursday morning at 10 a.m. And, you know, I was taken by surprise when Captain Miller called me 10 minutes ago and I see you walking in to get your warrant there. I thought we were already on for a meeting. I thought we had already picked a time and a date to meet, and I was told the way we left it was it would be best for me to bring the meter to the meeting. So that was what I was planning to do.
So
and
Thursday
now
at 10 a.m. you're still available. Come down and meet with Detective Lemmer, is what you're saying.
I'm saying I'll have to think about it now that you've gone out of your way to get a search warrant and
To recover stolen property. Okay. Well,
I'm
I'm,
not-
sure
I'm
you'll
not-
be in touch one way or the other. How about that?
Sure,
Well,
I'll call you
look at this.
tomorrow. Here.
We'll leave it on the books for 10 a.m. Thursday morning. If something changes, You have his number. You can call him. Sound good?
Sure. And just one more thing. I want to ask, is anybody going to look into the allegations that are in the video?
Well, obviously, right now you're asking me as a concerned citizen or a reporter.
I like to think I'm both. I mean,
You got to do both ways. You've been videotaping the whole time. I think I'm talking to a reporter right now. You know what my response is going to be. Contact the PIO. All right, Charlie.
Fair enough.
Thanks a lot.
I encourage you to check that meter out. There's got to be a reason that it's all zeros. It's a zero read. It looks like it's been used. I think there might be some funny business at the water department. Hello.
Hey, Mr. Granville, how are you,
Detective, how are you, sir?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Listen,